definitely had our ups and downs because just with the market we've seen, we saw some really great times where interest rates were really low and it was a lot easier for people to be able to afford a home through our program. And then we saw challenges where interest rates got up to 7%. And that was definitely a challenge. However, we have not had any foreclosures, any homeowners that have had to transition out. We've been able to support them in that transit because of family changes, such as divorce. Some were because of health issues and they needed to leave the home. But we've only had 3 resales in our many years of existence. Since 2019, we closed our first home. We've only had 3 resales. So I think we're showing that people are able to not just get in a home, but to stay there. And I think that's where we need to be focusing in when it comes to housing. We really get excited about the ribbon cutting and we get excited about putting people in a home and being able to say, we created a new homeowner, but can we sustain and maintain homeowners is the other thing. And also with our renters as well, we can get them into a nice rental building, but can they stay there?
So as you alluded to earlier, you're expanding beyond home ownership and rentals to rental properties, home repair, commercial spaces, varieties of land use. What can you tell us about how that's going so far?
Yes, so we were lucky enough to get a Mackenzie Scott grant back in 2023, and we were able to do some pilot projects that we weren't able to do before with the funding that we had from the city of Houston, because that was specifically for affordable home ownership. And so one was being able to support a family who had been in their neighborhood since the 70s, and we were able to support them through a rehab, and they put their home in the CLT because what we don't talk about is once a home is rehabbed, the value, of course, goes up. And the family was concerned about the gentrification that was happening around, that they may not be able to afford the home after it had been repaired. There had been a bad addition done to the home. And then, of course, with Beryl and the derecho that happened back to back, their home took quite a bit of a hit and it became uninhabitable. And so to be able to get the repairs done to their home and maintain the affordability for future generations, they decided the CLT was the best thing for them. So we were able to do that pilot. We also were able to acquire a fourplex rental building and create affordable rentals right around the corner, actually on McGowan. And I think it was a good example of how you can take existing buildings and creating affordable rentals as opposed to only trying to find large tracts of land and building large apartment complexes. We can do both. We can have the new apartment complexes and utilize the buildings and spaces that we already have to create more affordable rentals. And lastly, our community space in 3rd Ward, right behind HEB on McGregor. This is a place that we use as our office space, but also a place for community to be able to come and rent out for events, for meetings, because meeting space and commercial space is also hard to find. And so we wanted to be able to support the community in that way, and also businesses that will be using our offices as well.
Dr. Ashley Page Allen is the Executive Director of the Houston Community Land Trust. Dr. Allen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And still to come.
Okay, folks, I have arrived home for one of my errands, and this talk radio session is about the high cost of home ownership, the high cost of purchasing a home, and they're talking about a community inside the city of Houston called 3rd Ward. 3rd Ward is one of the first historically black communities in the whole nation. A lot of folks don't know that. 3rd Ward, Houston is one of the first black communities in the whole nation of the United States. And they're talking about regentrification. Regentrification is when you have a historically black community that's regentrified. You have other races move into that community and force the people who live in that community who are black, they force them out by doing new construction, buying cheap land and raising the price of the land up, building new homes, mostly urban homes, because most of these black communities are in the city. So you have people who want to live inside the city, who don't want to live in the suburbs, who have good income. They want to be closer to work, so they move into what's called a plighted community, a black community, and they buy the land for cheap and they build new townhomes and all that, which raises the price of the community itself, and it forces the black people who live in that historically black community, it forces them out because they can't afford it anymore. So this organization, this lady, she's over this organization who they help people who are lower income to stay in Third Ward by having programs where they can buy homes at a cheaper cost than they can afford themselves, because the price of the homes in Third Ward are going through the roof. They're going through the roof. If you live in Houston, you know Third Ward is right near downtown. It's a very popular area because everything's around Third Ward inside the large urban, Houston's not an urban city, but it's in that area inside the city where all the shops, restaurants are. It's close to the largest medical center in the whole country. A lot of these folks work at and make good money. It's right in the city, right near downtown. So a lot of people who have money, young people who have money, they don't want to live way out. They don't want to live in the suburbs. They're young. They want to live inside the city. So they come in to Third Ward where they can buy land a lot cheaper. They buy the land and they build these urban townhomes. So, you know, that's what's going on in Third Ward, gentrification. So, you know, I love listening to talk radio because with talk radio, you learn so much about what's going on in the city, what's going on in the world. I'd rather listen to talk radio than listen to music. That's just me. I love being informed about what's going on around me, locally, and around me from a nation standpoint. So I'm at home now, y'all. I hope y'all having a good day. I'm gonna get in here. I'm gonna enjoy my breakfast and check on my micro food force, making sure everything's running well and all of that. And I don't know if it's gonna rain today or not. I didn't look at the weather, but it could rain. It rained the last 2 days. It rained in the afternoon. Yesterday it rained in the afternoon, real good and hard. Day before that it rained in the afternoon. So we are in our hurricane season in southern Texas and Houston area. We are in our hurricane season. This is what I call our rainy season right now, and it rains. It gets very humid in Houston. Houston is all the way southern state. It gets very humid and very warm in Houston. So we have rain all the time this year during hurricane season, which is awesome if you're gardening, growing food, because you can harvest that rain for your garden. Your plants are going to love it. You know, it's a beautiful place to grow food. So y'all have a nice day. Get outside, detox, meditate, drink your tea, find your tea. This is Redemption Life Wayne coming to y'all. Y'all have a nice day. And remember, ain't nobody come to save us. We got to save ourselves.